Hello and welcome back to Humans in 5.
One of the most exciting things about working in science these days is the constant updates to technology that provide us with new ways to answer research questions.
Changes in technology help us get through analyses faster, increase the range or depth of our tests, and most importantly, make quite a lot of technology comparatively more affordable.
But these changes also bring new dilemmas when it comes to setting up and completing research projects. For those of us who work with human remains, we're currently in the middle of a big debate focusing on some of the newest methods we use in our research.
3D models have become a very popular way of collecting data on human bones. Laser scanners are the most common type of equipment to collect this data. Researchers also use photogrammetry or structured light scanning to digitally construct 3D models by taking lots of photographs of the entire bone that they stitch together. More expensive options include magnetic resonance imaging or MRI and computerized tomography known as CT scans. These allow researchers to get a cross-section of the bone, showing the inside of the bone down to a microscopic level.
As always, there are pros and cons to every method of analysis. 3D models are non-destructive ways to collect measurements, involving relatively little handling of bones. They also can be kept as a permanent record and stored digitally. Theoretically, they could also be shared amongst researchers who would like to examine the same set of human remains.
Some of the major issues with these methods come down to money. Equipment for creating 3D models is costly, and access to funds for these equipments aren't necessarily equal amongst researchers. While many types of 3D scanning are non-destructive, research is still being completed on how DNA in bone, skin, and hair might be affected by CT scanning, though for bone at least, early reports suggest the impact is minimal.
Finally, because these types of scans are often quicker than taking measurements directly from bone, many research proposals using 3D scanning can be pretty broad. For example, researchers have more time available in one collection of skeletal remains and will simply say, I want to scan all the skulls in this collection. These types of projects don't have clear research questions and run the risk of researchers simply mining data to keep instead of use to answer a specific research question. This poses some major ethical conundrums. What right does a researcher have to take these resources for no explicit purpose?
The trouble is, there are little to no established guidelines on the ethical parameters of collecting, analyzing, and showing these 3D models of bones in our research. Are these models reproductions of bones, or are they representations of bones? Should 3D models be treated with the same respect and care as the bones themselves? When bones of ancestors are returned to their communities, should the 3D models of their bones be returned as well? Some of these questions have been addressed in archaeology in a document called the London Charter, but not all of biological anthropology's concerns are met.
A recent conference in London called Digital Dilemmas provided a platform for debate on this topic. Many presenters brought up issues with data storage options, differences between skeletal remains and material culture curated in national museums versus the smaller local museums, and how sharing digital data has worked in some instances. This conference provided a good starting point to create guidelines for researchers working with digitized models of skeletons in the UK.
At the heart of this debate is the value we put on materials we collect as scientists. If a researcher considers human bone as just another thing, the questions around digital models of bones seem like a big fuss. But the reality is that bones, hair, and tissue belong to a person. Just like personal information, such as someone's address or their medical history, this information is sensitive and should be treated with respect.
We hope today's episode isn't making you feel digitally dizzy, and we'll see you next time on Humans in 5.
And don't forget to subscribe.